first thing I want to discuss is the design and the build quality over my year using this device. Now, if you had the Galaxy S8 Plus before the S9, this definitely didn't feel like something that was a wow factor, super exciting. It was just a mature, refined product. And I've said it before that, Apple does this and, makes the same design a couple years in a row, but Samsung typically changes it up every year. And this one didn't do that much over the S8 Plus. So for me, it was a rather boring design, although very pretty phone and very nice looking. It just never really excited me in terms of how it looked, mostly because I was an S8 Plus user before it. But if you're coming from something older than an S8 Plus or even an S8, the S9 Plus is going to feel like a major upgrade. Now, when it comes to its build quality, I did suffer a little bit of a scratch there on the paint. Other than that, I kept it in a screen protector and it's held up pretty well along pretty much every angle. Now, it wasn't a case as well. Like I say, pretty good build quality here. I did like the stainless steel a little bit more on my iPhone experience. The aluminum is a little bit more slipperier, so you might want to get a case for grip on this device. Over a year, build quality has held up pretty well and much more premium than the old days of Samsung here. Now, one thing I did come to appreciate quite a bit over using this phone was its display. It was more color accurate than ever before when it did come out. The S10 does improve this with that dynamic AMOLED display, but this thing is still very gorgeous and it's just so pretty that I think that most other phones don't really stand a chance against most of Samsung's displays when it does come to the way they look right out of the box. Now, I did just suffer burn-in on my Galaxy Note 9. You could head over to my Twitter to check that out. I'll leave a link down below to that post, but this one didn't burn in at all in my time using it, and it's very sharp here and very color accurate. It doesn't seem oversaturated like I've seen on prior Samsung displays, so this one nice and on point for most people's taste, I believe. And if you go into cinema, photo, basic, adaptive, you can really tweak the way the colors do look on this panel. In addition, the brightness on this phone was pretty high. I think it could get a little higher, and that's why I'm happy they improved that with the new phones. But I gotta say, this all-around display for media consumption, reading, anything like that has been a stellar experience. Super sharp in pretty much every area. It's curved, it's gorgeous. So discussing software here for the Galaxy S9 Plus, after 1 year, I had one update, and luckily it was a very big update, and that is to the One UI that you see right here. A lot of people watching this video are probably on a Samsung and do not have this. The night mode being my favorite feature of this entire software update. You can see it just tweaks out the entire software system-wide to be in a night mode. If you go to calculator, you can see the calculator is black. If you go into the clock, it is in the night mode right here. It says Nick wake up at 9:30 a.m. That was an alarm I set the other day. And you could just see that overall, it does have bigger icons, it looks like, than before, especially if you change it in the home screen settings and you go to the home screen grid. The multitasking is a little bit different with the software now, and I don't really like it so much compared to the older version. A lot of people don't either, how there's no list view when it comes to the multitasking, but it's still Samsung. They didn't really eliminate too many features. A lot of features are still here. There's some that are not in the same places or a little bit trickier to use now that is annoying some users. But I gotta say, overall, I am liking the more minimal feel of the One UI. It looks a little bit cleaner than before. Some people think the icons look tacky, but remember, this is Android. You can always change your icons whenever you feel like it, simply by going to the themes and going to icons and searching up whatever icons you would like. It feels a little bit smoother as well on this new software, but in my time using it, I was mostly on Android 8.0, and that ran pretty well as well. I didn't run into too many hiccups, and I didn't have too many stutters or anything like that. So this is one of the best performing Samsung phones I've ever seen. So if you buy one now, I really got to say that I don't think you're going to be disappointed with performance. I think most phones have reached that peak where you're getting plenty of performance no matter which phone you buy at the premium level. It seems like every year that Samsung releases a new phone, they tend to focus their efforts on getting the updates out first to their latest phones, which do make sense. So seeing as the S9 Plus is now last generation super quickly, it seems like it just came out yesterday, this phone will now likely be pushed back like a phone away from being the second updated. So what I mean is the Galaxy S10, S10 Plus, Note 10 that are coming out later this year, Galaxy Fold, these phones will be updated, and then Samsung will likely focus their efforts on the S9 Plus. So buy it right now, then and just enjoy the software you have, because you're likely not getting a major update for quite some time. So performance, this thing launched with a Snapdragon 845, which was one of the first phones actually to give you that. So it was very powerful at the time, and it's still as powerful to this day. The Adreno 630 and definitely has 6 GB of RAM. So what that means is that you have an extremely powerful smartphone here in the Galaxy S9 Plus. It was way ahead of the curve when it first came out, launching before many of the major flagships, as Samsung typically does every year. So very powerful processor. The 855 is likely not going to make a huge difference in your day-to-day usage of a smartphone. So I got to say that I really have no complaints with the performance here on the Galaxy S9 Plus. Has it been perfect? Has there been faster phones? Yes. Has it stuttered once in a blue moon? Yes. But has it been very fast and very efficient at pretty much what you need to do on a smartphone? Yes. So let me discuss my battery experience with the Galaxy S9 Plus after using this thing for a year. So I gotta say that this is not the Galaxy Note 9 in terms of battery. So if you're looking for an amazing battery life, this is not the phone for you. I found myself getting through the day, but not with a ton of percentage left over. I definitely had to charge this thing every single night, and if I didn't, I would definitely not be making it even halfway through the next day. Now, if I was a heavy use day, I have to charge this thing at least towards the middle to like 8 o'clock p.m. at night. So this wasn't the top performer in battery life, but it wasn't horrible either. I think the Galaxy Note 8 was worse than this phone in battery life. The S8 Plus was actually a little bit better, and the S8, the smaller one, was worse than this phone. So this one's kind of in between all of those right there, but still it's good. It's just not great battery life in my experience. One thing I really liked about the S9 Plus in my experience using it was the audio. So the audio that came out of here and up here with this Dolby Atmos turned on was just a beautiful experience all around. It was very loud and something that we didn't see on prior premium Samsung phones. So it really boosted this up to another level. We were waiting for this forever before this phone, and it really helped dramatically. Also, Samsung not getting rid of their headphone jack was another major win for this device, and I always appreciated having that. I used it so much that when I went to other phones, I was like getting a little bit frustrated that there wasn't a headphone jack there. In addition to that, they included the AKG headphones in the box with this phone. So the audio experience overall was stellar on this phone. Is it the same audio experience in terms of quality that I got on the LG G7 ThinQ? Absolutely not. But did it have the versatility of many different options of listening to audio? Yes, and that made it feel like the full package when it came to audio. So thumbs up here for the audio. If you get the new Galaxy Buds, you can rock them with this phone as well. Now, when it comes to camera, you've never seen nothing like this before. A variable aperture camera in a smartphone, which can change between different apertures, f1.5 to 2.4, but it didn't seem to make a big difference here in actual use. Actually, most photos turned out too bright because of this on the Galaxy S9 Plus, and photos weren't as sharp as what I seen on the Pixel 3 of the same year. So the Galaxy S9 Plus did have amazing autofocus though, dual pixel AF on this phone, made focusing really amazing. But the low light, for some reason, as you can see right here, the pictures turned out very orange for some reason. It did give a lot of light, but you can see again right here, this is not reflective of reality. This is actually a lot oranger than it did look outdoors this night. So I gotta say that I did like the overall photo. I think for a smartphone, it takes a clear photo, you'll be very happy. But if you're looking for the absolute best camera experience, I don't think the Galaxy S9 Plus has it. It also has a recording limit on the camera when it comes to 4K 60. So if we do go on the video and we start shooting a video in 4K 60, there will be a little 5-minute limit right here on your video. So you can't keep going or the phone will overheat. Now, when it comes to settings, if you were into having a ton of features on your phone, I really always appreciated this with the Galaxy S9 Plus, and buying it right now offers you up a ton of features in your camera. So think of it like this. It's not the absolute best in photo quality, but it's pretty close. It's not the absolute best in video quality, but again, it's pretty close. Those crowns will go to the Pixel and the iPhone. But what it does have that neither one of those phones have is all the feature set that a lot of those are lacking. The ability to change so many things right here from the settings menu itself, the ability to kind of take a little bit of all those phones and give you a very versatile camera. So if you want versatility, you'll love the Galaxy S9 Plus. The selfie camera was actually pretty good as well. It was decently wide, a little bit wider than the iPhone. Soft, it's not the most sharpest front-facing camera, and some people don't like the way Samsung skin tones look, but some people love them. So I don't think I have a problem over my year using it with the front-facing camera. Was it a phone that I could take out and be very pleased with the results? Absolutely. So I gotta say the camera, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to give it like an 8 out of 10. I couldn't give it a 10 because there's other phones that were just better in the areas that matter to me, and that's video and photo quality. But I did like using it. The usability was just so fun for the Galaxy S9, even with the nice quick launch feature that they kind of pioneered here on the Samsung devices. Phone call quality was something that really most phones do very well, and this one I didn't have any issues. As a matter of fact, I cannot remember one drop call on the Galaxy S9 Plus. It was that darn good. So this thing was doggone good when it comes to its phone call quality. Reception was strong no matter where I was. People could hear me clearly. I could hear them clearly. No issues whatsoever. Speakerphone very loud. This is a very good phone for this regard. So what is my overall opinion after 1 year with the Galaxy S9? And I gotta say that I've been pretty impressed with the phone. It's very refined. It does everything you need it to do. It's not super exciting if you use an S8 Plus, but if you have an older device, this is still a very premium, nice device, and it's not going to cost you even anywhere near $1,000 or even near the new Galaxy phones. If you can find it like under 500 or even in the 500s, it could still be a very good option. And many people who have an S9 Plus have loved their phone and are not considering even upgrading to the Galaxy S10. So it's a feature-loaded phone that's almost a full package like the Note 9 without the best battery life and without an S Pen. So that's it. For me, if I'd have to give it a score out of 10, the full package, I would have to give it a solid 8 out of 10 for this phone in my 1 year using it. But I will be comparing this thing to the Galaxy S10 Plus soon, so you might want to be subscribed for that. Make sure you have notifications turned on. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick here helping you to master your technology, and let me know your thoughts about the Galaxy S9 Plus down below in the comments. I will catch you all in the next episode. Be sure to be well and peace.